That don't make sense. Hi everybody, thanks for kicking it the long hours, all right? This first piece is called A Tribute to My Friend Fish. Life will drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Whether it's the thousands of little mishaps that can totally fuck up your day, be it lost keys, lost service in the middle of an important phone call, broken phone screen, twisted ankle, or a bad case of IBS. The climax is in a booming fart when you're on the elevator next to the prettiest face you've seen all day. Life will stand before you like a mountain demanding to be climbed after your legs have given out and your lungs can barely carry air. The struggle to survive rises like a cage in which you bang against cold iron bars and beg for just a little bit more than bread and water to sustain you through the darkness up ahead. Even though that darkness is often nothing more than the day-to-day tedium of online bills, bank statements, and paychecks that never go as far as you had planned. Health concerns and random injuries continue to remind you that you are getting older, and all those things you told yourself you'd do once you grew up and finally had the time's now. You might not get another. Life will drive you crazy. Whether it's a 17-year-old smoking habit that felt really cool in high school, but now has given you yellow teeth, short breath, and a never-ending supply of thick gray phlegm stuck on the back of your throat. Whether it's the constant compromise of being in a relationship, feeling the ever-present eyes of a lover and crouching under solitude and wondering how the fuck you wound up with 2 cats and watching Netflix on a Saturday night? Or the loneliness of being single, returning to the silence of an empty apartment after a long day of work, hopping on a Facebook only to have some friend back home ask, hey, you meet anyone special these days? Whether it's work deadlines that never seem particularly difficult till you find yourself drinking coffee at 2 a.m., clasping your hands below a God you never actually believed in, promising that I will never procrastinate again, just let me have a job in a week. And when you do, that promise is quickly forgotten. Because we all know what makes us the most insane is ourselves. All those impulses we never seem to tame, all those lessons we just never seem to learn. Life will drive you crazy. Make you want to scream in a crowded subway till the screeching brakes stop all space and time. Make you want to drown in whiskey, stick your hand in your fire, or do anything just to get a fleeting moment of release. It will drive you to fantasize about the simplicity of padded walls, Thorazine, and a straitjacket. Because all you really want is a pause button. A chance to catch your breath, sort things out, but hey, there's no pause button. No rewind, no fast forward. There's only the present. But when I really look at that, it's beautiful. Too often I've let my fantasies of the future blind me for the endless array of opportunities falling in front of my face in the present moment, begging me to open my eyes. And when I finally do, I'm standing at the edge of a future I don't need to worry about. As long as I have enough air in my lungs to finish this poem, I'll let it sound like a barbaric yacht that can carry me all the way to my final breath. Because my life is no prison sentence. And there are a long list of things that I take for granted that are nothing short of spectacular once I shift the lens away from everything I'm pissed I don't have. So, when the day weighs heavy on my shoulders and I feel as though I'm about to fall into a fetal position and beg for someone to take me away, I have to remember that every small deed can be a victory, affirming the majesty of existence. Every person I smile at, whether or not they smile back, every student whose eyes I see flicker with a moment of recognition, every song I sink into, every friend I open up to, every moment I rise, or every morning I rise determined to change the world, even if that just means letting the old lady on the bus take my seat. The long day's journey to the night will be whatever I make of it. And even when it's bad, the bed sheets can always sing silhouettes of a better tomorrow. So, when you feel as though you're about to sink beneath the rising tide of troubles that consume us all from time to time, just remember you're not alone, and that there's enough half-forgotten beauty floating around in each passing moment. But if you take a deep breath and open your eyes, the only remaining problem is that you'll burst. All right, this is a new one that, well, I actually started working on it a long time ago. Put it away because I never liked it, and then opened it for the first time in years. It's like, oh, I can work with this now. Working title, it's either called Midnight Coffee and Cigarettes or Reflections on a Vastly Extended Adolescence and Realizing that I should probably start putting something away for retirement.
Both. Nope.
One day I woke up, and I wasn't 20. A strange haze fell about the room, infusing all the edges with an ethereal glow. Old photos began clawing their way out of the dust and surfacing on the shores of my bed sheets, promising not to be forgotten. I woke up and found my best friend speaking to me across an ocean, sinking into images of nights long dead and faces lost in the folds of the last 15 years. 15 years. Scraped by one long day at a time and yet gone in the span of a cigarette. Leaving nothing but a smoke ring halo hovering above angels that carried me out of all those close calls and tight corners and broken memories scattered across my reflections like puzzle pieces that I just can't put together. How did I get here? One night you're drunk on boredom, surrounded by other delinquents desperately searching for a place to owe your few spare bucks, and the next, they're trying to convey the importance of outlining essays to a classroom full of cocky, insecure foreign kids who are just as disinterested as you once were. And the road behind you is almost as incomprehensible as the empty asphalt beckoning you forward. Yet these images remain. My roommate sprawled across a battered couch, strumming the chords to ramble on as an impromptu party roared around us, fueled by Mickey's cheap coke and 20-year-old hormones, brought quickly outside by the screams accompanying my buddy Josh as he ran down the street in boxers, hollering, "Shit happens when you party naked." His massive body towering as I coaxed him inside and pried the Jim Beam from his hands. Waking up next to my best friend the morning after her birthday, head still heavy from the Valiant tequila chasers that preceded our first kiss, the taste of her nipples still lingering on my mouth as I stared at her sleeping, only half aware of the damage we just done each other. My buddy Ramsey, handing me a cigarette while rattling off grand plans for the future that never materialized past a morning shift at the local cafe and a 12-pack that inevitably follows. The sly grin that used to make me laugh, now aggravate, because the sweetness has slipped away and left nothing but a drunken man-child fumbling his way across other people's lives. My brother's unconscious body lying in a hospital bed, hearing my heartbeat echo the beep and hiss of machines, keeping him alive and sinking each time the doctor's eyes offered no answers, and sighing in helplessness as I watched him wake up, walk away, and done absolutely nothing. How did it get like this? Not just me, but all of us. Once bonded by a collective itch and the delusion that tomorrow was still years away, until it happened. And I've woken up to the heartache of watching my running partners fall behind because they never learned how to walk. Their faces slowly shrinking in the rearview mirror, losing definition yet burning imprints behind my eyes. So everything I see when I look ahead shows a little bit of what I've left behind. Thank you.